Hi, everybody. I'm Bruce Rader with our Washington Huddle web exclusive, and with me, our fantasy and NFL expert, Jake Ciely from The Athletic. Jake, thanks for being with us. Not even a month ago, when Washington had lost 6 of their first 8 games, did you ever think they would have been able to have such a remarkable resurgence?
Nah, honestly, I have to be honest, I would say no, mostly because it was a very disjointed team, and that's the offense and the defense. And the defense was the strength of this team last year, and it wasn't playing well to start this season. Heineke was being a little bit too aggressive. Things have changed recently, and also you look at the 4 teams that they've just beat in a row, and that includes Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, which, again, if you would have asked me that, I mean, heck, if they would have won 5 games in a row before the Buccaneers, I still would take Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So, yes, I did not expect 4 wins in a row. I did not expect them to be back to 500 with how they were playing earlier this year.
You know, I harped on this earlier this season. Week after week, Washington made stupid mistakes. The players weren't communicating on the field. The running back wasn't clicking. They were a mess. What do you think happened over this past month?
I think it's a lot of factors. You mentioned the running back situation. You had a different runner every single week. McKissick led the team. Heineke led the team in rushing one week. Gibson wasn't 100%. That time off, we heard a lot about his shin. The time off got him near 100%. They've been running him, I want to say into the ground because hopefully he stays healthy. But when you can have that run and take a little bit of the pressure off Heineke, who also himself has started to be a little more patient out there and look for the reads. And then you talk about the defense, and the next man up has been a big thing with this defense and replacing Chase Young and being called upon. And it's almost kind of like they all grouped together and saw it as a challenge, really. And you've seen that over the past 4 weeks as the defense has played really well and the offense has been more balanced and consistent.
You have been very complimentary to Taylor Heineke, especially when you're talking about him as a fantasy player. But does he have what it takes to lead Washington into the playoffs?
I think he does. I think this version of Heineke does. You know, as you mentioned with fantasy, the interesting thing was because he was so aggressive, he was going downfield in potential turnovers, and he was running when he shouldn't run. And now he's still been productive in fantasy, but now he's been a much smarter quarterback. He's being more patient in the pocket. He's not forcing the throw downfield when people are triple and double covered just to try to make the play. So when you can turn to Gibson, and Heineke has been able to take that time to develop himself and be more patient, I think you're seeing a much better quarterback than we did weeks 1 and 2, and somebody that, yes, can be a playoff winning quarterback with this team.
Does a win by Dallas with 4 games left to play seal the deal in the NFC East?
It does. Most years it would have, but we have the extra week, so they're still technically able to win the division. If they would lose and then win out after that, Washington can still win if Dallas doesn't win their game. So it's not completely out of the equation, but it does put them up against it. They're basically backs against the wall if they lose this game trying to win the division.
You know, Jake, you join us. You're very kind to do this week after week, season after season, but people can follow you all week long, not only on The Athletic, but also your podcast. Let the people out there know, how can they get the most out of Jake Ciely?
Yeah, it's where basically everything in writing. It's the free version. You can hear it audio. You can watch it on YouTube. It's all in football. It's on Bets TV. You can find it on iTunes. Actually, you can follow it on all the podcasting networks that are out there. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, we cover everything from waivers to sit questions and everything in between. So, yes, you can get as much advice. And the best part about the podcast, you can listen to it at 1.5 speed, so you can churn through it really quickly.
I don't know. You talk pretty fast. I don't know if I can get you at 1.5. So again, it's All In Football podcast.
Yeah, All in Football. You don't need the podcast, just All in Football.
And follow you on Twitter too.
At All In Kid, yep.
All In Kid on Twitter, and of course on The Athletic. Jake Ciely, thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next week. This has been a Washington Huddle web exclusive.